Welcome back to Ego and Empathy, the podcast where we explore the psychology behind human behavior and the subtle ways it shapes our lives. I'm your host, Mandy, and today's episode is all about something so many people struggle with. How do you actually know if you're dealing with a narcissist? It's one of the most common questions I hear, and it's also one of the hardest to answer. Because narcissists are not easy to spot at first. They're charming, confident, and often very attentive in the beginning. They study you, they mirror you, they say the right things. And before you realize it, you're emotionally invested in someone who isn't who they pretended to be. So let's talk about the signs, the questions you can ask, and the behaviors to watch closely if you suspect you might be involved with a narcissist. The first thing to look at is how they handle empathy. A narcissist can talk about emotions, but they rarely feel them on a deep level. You can test this gently by sharing something vulnerable or personal. Maybe a story about a difficult time in your life. Notice their response. Do they ask questions? Do they make it about you? Or do they shift the focus back to themselves? If you walk away from emotional conversations feeling unseen or unheard, that's not love. That's a lack of empathy. The second sign is how they handle boundaries. Healthy people respect limits. They understand the word no. Narcissists don't. If you tell them you need space, they show up anyway. If you set a rule, they test it. If you say something hurts you, they repeat it and call you sensitive. You can test this early in a relationship by setting small boundaries. For example, saying you prefer to go home early instead of staying out all night. Or asking them to respect your privacy about something personal. If they react with anger, guilt, or mockery, that tells you everything you need to know. The third thing to pay attention to is how they respond to your success. In the beginning, they'll cheer you on. But once the relationship feels secure, your growth becomes a threat. If you achieve something important, they may downplay it or twist it into competition. They'll say things like, "You're lucky, not talented." Or they'll change the subject to themselves. A narcissist can't celebrate you, because deep down they see your shine as something that steals from their own. The fourth sign is how they handle criticism. This is one of the biggest tells. Even the smallest piece of feedback can trigger a huge reaction. They'll either explode in anger, go cold with silence, or flip the blame back onto you. If you express that something hurt you and they respond with, "You're crazy," or "You're imagining things," that's not a conversation. That's gaslighting. Healthy people can discuss disagreements. Narcissists can't. Because they experience criticism as an attack on their fragile self-image. The fifth clue lies in their patterns, not their promises. Narcissists are masters of words. They'll say all the right things when they want to keep you. But watch what they do. Are their actions consistent with their words? Do they show care when no one else is watching? Do they apologize and then repeat the same behavior? If their words are full of love but their actions leave you anxious, drained, or small, believe the actions, not the words. Here's another important point. You don't need a checklist or a diagnosis to walk away. If you constantly feel confused, unseen, or emotionally unsafe, that alone is reason enough to step back. You don't have to prove they're a narcissist to justify protecting yourself. If your body is tense, if your mind is spinning, if your heart feels heavy, that's your intuition speaking. And your intuition is there for a reason. When you're trying to figure out if someone is a narcissist, you might find yourself searching for certainty, waiting for proof. But the truth is, you don't need to name it to know it's wrong. You only need to recognize how you feel around them. Do you feel loved or managed? Do you feel respected or controlled? Do you feel calm or constantly anxious? The answers to those questions tell you everything. If you realize you're dealing with someone who shows these patterns, start protecting your peace. Stop oversharing, start setting limits. And most importantly, stop doubting your reality. Your feelings are evidence. Your confusion is a red flag. And your discomfort is a sign that something is not right. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon, so you'll be notified when new episodes come out. It helps us keep making content like this. And it keeps you informed and empowered. And if you haven't already, listen to the other episodes in this series about no contact, reactive abuse, and the narcissistic collapse. Each of them adds another piece to the puzzle, so that you can see the full picture of how narcissistic behavior works, and how you can finally break free from it. You don't need to diagnose them to know that you deserve peace. You only need to decide that you're done with pain.